During the 1900 to 1901 recovery of a Roman-era shipwreck, a diver brought up what looked like a useless lump of bronze and stone. It had spent roughly 2,000 years being crushed, corroded, and fused to the bottom of the sea. In 1902, researchers recognized something extraordinary inside one of the fragments. It was a gear, not a single rough wheel, but part of a machine packed with precisely arranged teeth, dials, pointers, and written instructions. This machine had once modeled the moon, organized calendars, and marked future eclipse possibilities. It may even have displayed the movements of every planet visible to the ancient world, and most of it was missing. So what had the divers actually found? The story begins near Antikythera, a small Greek island between Crete and the Peloponnese. In 1900, sponge divers from the island of Symi discovered an ancient wreck on a steep underwater slope. With help from the Greek Royal Navy, they began one of the earliest major underwater archaeological recovery operations. The work was extremely dangerous. The wreck lay roughly 50 to 60 meters beneath the surface. The divers wore heavy, surface-supplied helmets connected to the boat by long air hoses. Their weighted boots helped them walk across the seafloor. Visibility was limited, and every object had to be lifted through deep water using equipment that was primitive by modern standards. The wreck produced a spectacular collection of objects. There were marble statues, bronze figures, glassware, pottery, and fragments of the ancient ship itself. Among these treasures were several corroded pieces that attracted far less attention. Wood, bronze, marine growth, and compacted debris had fused together. At first, the fragments looked like little more than damaged cargo. The ship had probably sunk around 60 to 50 BCE. But the strange device it carried may already have been decades old when the vessel went down. Today, we call it the Antikythera Mechanism. It is often described as the oldest known mechanical computer. That description is useful, but only if we understand what kind of computer it was. It did not run software, it could not store messages, it could not be programmed to solve any problem its owner chose. Instead, its bronze gears physically modeled relationships between cycles in the sky. Turning one part of the mechanism caused several different pointers to move at carefully calculated speeds. Each movement represented the passage of astronomical time. In the spring of 1902, researchers recognized the fragments as parts of a geared device that displayed astronomical and calendar information. That discovery transformed the object completely. It was no longer just an unusual decoration from an ancient ship. It was evidence of a machine-building tradition that no one had expected to find in this form. But the evidence was badly incomplete. Researchers now identify 82 surviving fragments. Together, they represent only about 1/3 of the original mechanism. 30 corroded bronze gears are known within those fragments. Many of their teeth are bent, buried, or visible only through imaging. The missing 2/3 include much of the mechanism's front display. The sea had given researchers a puzzle after throwing away most of the picture. For decades, scholars studied the fragments with photographs, measurements, mechanical models, and early X-rays. Their work gradually established that the device was far more complex than a simple clock or astrolabe. The decisive modern breakthrough came in 2005. An international team brought advanced imaging equipment to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. Microfocus X-ray computed tomography recorded the fragments layer by layer. Advanced surface imaging captured faint marks under different directions of light. Researchers could now examine the interior without pulling the fragile pieces apart. One buried gear appeared behind another. Tiny Greek letters emerged from material that looked blank from the outside. The scans helped researchers count gear teeth, trace axles, and read inscriptions that had been hidden for 2,000 years. Those inscriptions were crucial. They described astronomical displays, cycles, and events. Some functioned like labels. Others resembled operating instructions. The mechanism did not simply contain a calculation. It also preserved clues explaining what that calculation was supposed to show. The clearest surviving part of this story appears on the back of the machine. Start with a problem familiar to every ancient calendar maker. A lunar month does not fit neatly into a solar year. 12 lunar months are too short. 13 lunar months are too long. But after 19 solar years, the relationship comes close to repeating across 235 lunar months. This is known as the Metonic cycle. The mechanism organized those 235 months around a 5-turn spiral dial. As the machine moved, a pointer could travel through the entire 19-year calendar cycle. A second spiral handled a far more dramatic pattern. Eclipses do not happen randomly, but they do not happen every month either. The moon's orbit is tilted relative to the apparent path of the sun across our sky. An eclipse becomes possible only when the moon reaches the correct phase near one of the points where those paths cross. One important eclipse pattern repeats after 223 lunar months. This is known as the Saros cycle. The mechanism arranged that cycle around a 4-turn spiral. Marks on the dial indicated months in which a solar or lunar eclipse was possible. Some inscriptions also recorded expected characteristics and times. This is where the word predicted requires care. The machine was not watching the future, it was carrying a repeating mathematical pattern forward. It could mark an eclipse possibility within the cycle, but it could not guarantee that a particular observer would see that eclipse from a particular location. Its predictions were not perfectly accurate. Even so, encoding such a long astronomical cycle inside a portable geared machine was an extraordinary achievement. The rear of the mechanism also connected astronomical time with public life. A smaller dial tracked a 4-year cycle associated with major Pan-Hellenic games. The sky, the calendar, and human institutions all occupied the same box. The central principle was surprisingly elegant. Turn one input and several outputs move at different rates. A calendar pointer advances through a 19-year cycle. An eclipse pointer moves through a sequence lasting 223 lunar months. The different outputs remain connected because the mathematical ratios are built into the numbers of teeth on the gears. Astronomical knowledge has become physical motion. But the maker of the mechanism went even further. The moon does not appear to cross our sky at one perfectly constant speed. Its orbit is not a perfect circle centered on Earth. The mechanism used ingenious gearing to reproduce part of this variation. It also displayed the changing phase of the moon. A small rotating sphere could show the transition from new moon to crescent, half moon, full moon, and back again. This was not simply a calendar decorated with gears. It was a compact mechanical model of how its designers believed the heavens worked. And on the mostly missing front, that model may once have expanded into an entire moving cosmos. This is where certainty begins to thin out. Researchers broadly agree that the front displayed the sun and moon against a zodiac scale. The inscriptions also describe the changing positions of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These were the 5 planets visible to ancient observers without telescopes, but most of the gears that would have powered this planetary display have not survived. This creates a strange reverse engineering problem. The instructions describe a performance, but most of the machinery behind the stage is gone. Researchers know the space that was available. They know the surviving holes, bearings, gear fragments, astronomical periods, and inscribed descriptions. They can use those constraints to test whether a proposed gear system could have fitted inside the original box. In 2021, a team led by researchers at University College London published a new model of the front display. Their design used intricate stacked gearing to reproduce the planetary cycles described by the surviving evidence. It was an important evidence-based solution, but it was not the recovered original. Other reconstructions have also been proposed. Because so much of the front mechanism is missing, no single complete design has been proven beyond dispute. That uncertainty does not make the achievement less impressive. It makes the reconstruction more remarkable. With only 1/3 of the mechanism, researchers can place strict limits on a machine whose complete form no living person has ever seen. Yet the greatest mysteries are no longer about the basic astronomical functions. They are about the people behind them. No signature identifies the designer of the Antikythera Mechanism. No surviving document names its owner. Its calendar names and astronomical ideas offer clues to different parts of the Greek world, but not a final address. The wreck carried goods from several places and periods. The location where the ship sank cannot tell us where every object aboard it was created. Archimedes is sometimes connected to the mechanism. Ancient writers described mechanical models associated with him, and he lived in a world capable of advanced mathematics and engineering. But there is no evidence that Archimedes personally built this machine. Giving him credit would turn an attractive possibility into an unsupported conclusion. The honest answer is more open. An unknown workshop combined several traditions of knowledge. Generations of Babylonian astronomers had recorded and organized long numerical cycles in the sky. Greek thinkers developed geometrical models to explain irregular celestial motion. Skilled metalworkers learned how to lay out, cut, mount, and mesh fine bronze gears. The Antikythera Mechanism brought those traditions together inside one physical system. Its exact purpose is also uncertain. It may have been used for teaching or public demonstration. It may have helped its owner consult calendars and astronomical cycles. It may have been a prestige object created to display knowledge, wealth, and craftsmanship. These possibilities are not mutually exclusive. A single machine could have served several purposes. What we should not imagine is a mass-produced laptop from the ancient world. Only one mechanism of this complexity survives, but that does not prove only one was ever made. It proves that bronze machines are difficult guests in the archaeological record. They corrode, they break, and valuable metal is often melted down and reused. The Antikythera Mechanism survived because a ship sank. Its fragments survived because divers recovered them. Its meaning survived because a gear eventually became visible inside the corrosion. So how did an ancient machine predict the sky? It did not see the future. It compressed patterns discovered across centuries into ratios made from bronze. One set of gears tracked the relationship between lunar months and solar years. Another carried the Saros eclipse cycle forward. Additional mechanisms modeled the moon's changing apparent motion and phase. The surviving inscriptions indicate that the front presented an even larger mechanical cosmos. But the missing pieces matter as much as the surviving ones. We still do not know the maker. We do not know the exact workshop. We do not know who owned the machine or exactly how it was used. And we cannot claim that any modern reconstruction is the one original design. The first divers did not bring back a machine from a civilization that should have been incapable of building it. They brought back proof that our surviving record of that civilization was incomplete. 2,000 years of corrosion hid the gears. Modern imaging made many of them visible again. Yet every confident answer still sits beside an empty space where another fragment should be. Perhaps that is the mechanism's final prediction. Whenever one lost technology survives, it tells us to wonder how many others did not.